8 p.m., 5 p.m. on the East, even though I said it was going to be 9 p.m. and I lied to all of you. We're here already. Let's go ahead and welcome adventurers. I'm your guide, Sean McZoo, and this is the Reptile Show reporter. Buckle up because it's time to start the adventure. All right, the music has stopped. I'm wondering if it take that longer or not, Bill. As Bill Strand, the headmaster of the Chameleon Academy, is here with me. Bill, you there?
Sean,
Yes.
every time on the intro,
Mhm.
I see there's a picture of a frilled dragon. When are you going to get a frilled dragon so I can have one vicariously through you?
I've had one. I had one
You've got a
for
frilled?
4,000 years. Yes, a frilled dragon. That was my frilled dragon.
You have one right now?
No, I do not. He passed about a year ago.
All right. Well, all right. So I'm still sad.
All right, Jeff
Hey,
Green
Chris.
Reptile. Who's that? That's
Chris.
Chris. All right. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Liza.
Hey, Two Turtle Tom is here. So even though I told everyone it was going to be 9 o'clock, it's not. So that's good. I don't know what I guess 9 o'clock is a different time zone, but I guess that's in the water. But Bill, any announcements today?
Oh, I got no announcements. Just doing my chameleon thing and putting out podcast. I got an interview with Jurgen van Overbeek coming out on Friday, talking about the history and the future of the chameleon community.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow, some good stuff.
Yep.
Two Turtle Tom is saying it's the Atlantic. So there's the Pacific and the Atlantic and the Eastern, but then there's Mountain and Central. I don't understand. Mountain and Eastern don't make sense. I don't know. These things don't know who named these things. They shouldn't be able to do this kind of nonsense. We're doing very well. I'm a little dehydrated after this weekend of being out at the air show and having a good time and not getting enough to fluids and not drinking at all in the sense of alcohol. But I don't think I had enough fluids this weekend. But my back is finally back together, so be it. Bill, how are you?
Well, I'm uncharacteristically doing very well.
Yeah, you look good. You look well slept and well hydrated. What the heck happened, Bill?
I actually got to bed early last night. I got up at 3 a.m. So wow. I've been very productive today. But
well, that was 7 a.m. I was up before you then, Bill. I was up at 5:30 this morning because I had to go to a class this morning.
That's not fair. But I got a whole podcast written.
Good. Awesome. Good. Awesome. Okay.
All about is shipping safe.
All right. So let's talk about the podcast. The podcast will come out next Tuesday. I had forgotten I said the second and fourth Tuesday, and I was going to put it out on the first Tuesday, and I decided, that's not worth doing. So I'm going to go ahead and stick to the second and fourth, and we're going to go from there. I went to an aquarium this weekend, which is also on our list of things that we can do. So we'll have to talk about that, but we'll talk about how that fits in and what have you a little bit later. Social media, I've got all the pillars up there, still the same pillars. I didn't change them once again. So I've got the show itself, the vendors, the other stuff, which is all kinds of crazy stuff that people do at reptile shows. And then tomorrow, as always, will be the potential pets, which I did not pick up any potential pets at the aquarium, which is good because they don't sell anything there. All right, Bill, you said you had no announcements or anything like that, right?
All I'm doing is I'm working hard. I'm coming up to the next issue. I've got 3 weeks until the next issue of the Chameleon Academy Journal. And,
all right.
It's going to be a pretty big one. I got a lot that I'm trying to stuff into there.
All right. Is that because you're trying to make yourself crazy and you're too rested because you're doing this journal now? And
or just a great time.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's talk aquariums. How did they fit in? What is the oh, Steph Payne is here. Welcome, Steph. See, everybody's here. I can count on the people to know that just to ignore my time when I write it down and just show up on time. Because I got here at 7:15 and said, wait a minute, it says 9 o'clock. This isn't right. So, anyways. Okay, so aquariums, zoos, reptariums, those are some of the things we're going to be doing. So I just happened to not have a reptile show to go to this weekend. Went to the air show in Cleveland on Saturday, and then we went to the aquarium, which is a fairly nice aquarium in Cleveland. So.
You know, when you told me that, I assumed that there was a typo and an autocorrect. When you kept saying you're going to the air show, I'm thinking, okay, I have no idea what he's trying to say here or what this is supposed to be.
The air show? You don't know what an air show is?
I know what an air show is. I just didn't expect to hear that you going to an air show. It's either a reptile show or an aquarium. But how did air show get in there? And so I just needed context. But now I know there's another facet to you.
Every Labor Day, there's an air show here in Cleveland, except for the one in the middle of the pandemic. And there's an air show that was the Thunderbirds this year, was the Blue Angels last year. There was all kinds of stuff. There's an airport right on Lake Erie where they do the air show out of. They have to fly out of the Thunderbirds have to fly out of Cleveland Hopkins because they can't take off in that small thing. But there was a Harrier plane there. What that thing went up from the ground and it spun in a circle like a helicopter. Boy, that was the loudest thing. I think that was louder than the Thunderbirds breaking the sound barrier multiple times. But that was pretty cool. But yes, I went to that, but that wasn't. I can't figure out how I can count that as a reptile show, Bill, though. So I guess I have to leave that be. I mean, it's not even exotic pets. It's an adventure, but we don't call this adventures anymore anyway. So it's reptile show reporter. So I'm reporting on the air show. It was awesome. It was very loud. It was 3 days. I just went the first day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I heard it the third day because when we went to the aquarium on Monday, it was really, really loud. All right, so Two Turtle Tom, the Cleveland Aquarium is all right. It's highly subsidized by the city and its show. Lots of algae on the glass makes me miss SeaWorld. Yes, SeaWorld used to be out here many moons ago, and yes, there was lots of algae on the glass and the frogs. They were hard to take pictures of because you couldn't see them. The tortoise, the red-footed tortoise, I think it was adopted because it looks like it's got a it looked very much like it had been an adoption because it had lots of pyramiding, worse than any of the adopted rescues that I had. And I'm just going to give them credit for adopting it that way. But Bill, did you see the green tree python I saw there that I used as a picture?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yes, I have a picture of me with the green tree python. Unfortunately, I never downloaded the pictures from my phone to the computer, so I can't show them here unless I come on. Wait a minute, I could come on this way, couldn't I? I could go this way. I could go on a link, right, and come in as somebody else, right, and then show pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if I can do that. Entertain everyone for a minute, Bill.
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's see. You guys probably all have seen it. Made this. I don't know. Have you guys seen this? If anybody was on my live on Instagram, you've already seen this. But this is something that I designed during my 3D printing class that I gave on Saturday, and so I know many of you come to that. So this may not be a surprise to you, but.
Whoa! Hey, I think I should have done. I need to do something here. Oh.
Yes. You can just mute.
I need to mute something.
Mute them.
Okay, let's see here. Mute. All right, there we go. Is that muted? Sorry, people. Okay.
Wow, what's going on? You opening up another dimension. Oh, hey, Two Turtle Tom. Do you guys know what this? Yeah, maybe I should ask. Anybody know? Can you guess what this is? Is for the people who weren't on my Instagram Tuesday live. Any idea what this could be? Yeah. This is, you know, how you have your fogger and you want to attach it to the cage. And so the Facebook user got it. This is, oh, Steph, you got it. Yeah. Because when you try to put this hose down, it just doesn't stay and the fog gets all over. Well, with this little thing, you can just attach it to the frame and boom, baby. You got a fogger input nozzle. And this is just something that I designed during the class. It was all about the designing in 3D space. And so we just pulled up the CAD program and designed it right in real time. So it's very cool. It's very cool. You say, I need something, just make it. Oh boy. And I'll have this file available on the next Chameleon Academy journal. So if anybody wants to print one out, a fogger input yourself, you can just download the file and do it. Uh-oh. So he's now muted himself. And so it's the Bill show now. I'm in charge.
No.
Oh, he's back. Don't anybody tell him I said I was in charge.
I heard that, Bill. I was on mute. I wasn't not listening. I was muted. So I can't seem to get the picture up. I got the pictures. I had them up, but they weren't on the thing. So I don't know. What do you want to see from them? I'll probably I could send them to the oh well, let's not do this, okay? Let's not do this thing. Let's talk about what we saw, what was there and why it was cool, and we can go from there.
If you want, just text it to me.
Text it to you? Okay.
Yeah, text it to me.
What pictures? I mean, I got 300 pictures. My wife and I
forget it.
Both on my phone.
All right. Well, maybe I'll just talk about it.
Okay. So no, the aquarium is really cool. I did not get a picture of the front of the aquarium, but I got a picture of there's a lot of turtles. There's a red-eyed slider. There was a map turtle. There were piranha. There were let's see what else we can see here. The green tree python, which was a really cool. We got a lot of pictures with us behind the behind the tanks, like we're in the tanks. I think that was my wife's doing. Let's see what else we got. There were saltwater fish. There were what do you call them? Oh, the ones that sting you, the lionfish. There was lionfish there. There was a fox.
Sharks. We want sharks.
Sharks. There were sharks. There were big sharks.
There were seahorses.
There were seahorses. There were big seahorses. There were small seahorses. There were the tiny little teeny little bitty seahorses that weren't babies. They were just real, and they're the regular size seahorses. The regular size seahorses were at the end of a walkway, and I got a picture of me with them. Let's see here. This is. I'm sending this to you here. This is the seahorses.
Well, the difference between a green tree python from emerald tree boa is green tree python lays eggs. So whatever you've got to mate them and wait until they give birth, and then you'll know if you have a green tree python or an emerald tree boa.
All right, I sent you the a picture of the me in front of the seahorses container. Let's see what else I got here. Wow, there's a lot of pictures. So there was big seahorses. There was little seahorses. There was a painted turtle, which is native to Ohio, but I've never seen one before. I don't know. Two Turtle Tom, are they available to get as a pet? Painted turtles? Midland painted turtle. I don't know. Maybe we lost him. Okay. Can you still hear me, Bill?
I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. So we saw a lot of stuff. We saw all this cool stuff. It was really neat. I've got my US ARC cert on. I think you got yours on today too as well. So
Yep.
all right, there we go. There I am in front of the looking bright in my orange, but that's all seahorses. There's someone else you guys could follow on Instagram, which is Flash McZoo, which is our version of Flat Stanley that we take everywhere now. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
but,
Two Turtle Tom. No, actually, they're pretty different. I am good enough that I can identify them, the difference between them when I see them, but I'm not good enough to explain it and in a way that I know would be reliable. Yeah, I think the emerald tree boa has more of the vertical heat sensors in front.
One's a boa and one's a python, Bill.
Well, yeah.
I know they look a lot alike, but there's a big difference between boas and pythons.
Yeah. Two Turtle Tom.
Ball pythons have heat sensors, so a emerald tree, a green tree python would have heat sensors, but the boas would not probably.
Oh no, the boas have huge.
They have huge heat sensors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange.
But yeah, Two Turtle Tom. I could, if you asked me the difference between Jackson eye and Johnston eye, which is usually confused, I could give you a whole list of how to tell the difference between those two three-horned chameleon. We're going out of my explaining expertise when we start getting into danger noodles.
All right, so let's talk about. I'm following this one guy on Instagram where he calls them what danger ropes, death ropes. But he describes snakes as death ropes because he doesn't like them a lot. But he goes about describing them. But anyways, let's talk about the place of zoos, aquariums. What is their place? What do they do? What do they do well? What do they do poorly? What do you think, Bill? What is their place?
I think the most obvious that we say that they expose people to animals. I think that is still a valuable function of them. Although the internet has really just changed the whole dynamic of that, and I think we have to get somebody on that is more in tune. I mean, I see them. When the San Diego Zoo published an article, all excited about having a clutch of veiled chameleons hatch.
So you're doing better than the San Diego Zoo, is what you're telling us.
It's okay. I realize most people aren't. I mean, this is really special to most people. They don't know what a veiled chameleon is. But on the other hand, of course, they're working on establishing and reintroducing wildlife to areas. And so there's a huge conservation value in those. But I think a lot of us grew up in a different time where zoos had a different meaning. That's where we saw the animals. But in this internet age, I maybe we need to have this discussion again as to what they are for. I'm not suggesting that they shouldn't be there. I think they have a huge capability to work with conservation, and I know that's what they do. But I'm taking your question as to what does it mean to me as a citizen, a guy walking around?
No, that's what I'm talking about. What does it mean to us as an individual, as citizens of the planet Earth or whatever? So,
I'd love to see more cooperation between the zoos and the what are we going to call us? Not the hobbyist community, because we're pretty darn serious about it, but the citizen community. I wonder if there is some sort of cooperation that could be done, because even zoos, I mean, the absolute expertise. But I mean, even zoos, they are not spending day in, day out with chameleons and only chameleons. So, how can what I do be useful to a zoo? I know.
I know one of the zoos locally asked me for chameleons because they couldn't acquire them, and they wanted to
Michael
acquire
Nash has
captive
been
bred
supplying
species.
zoos.
Yeah,
With,
so it's it's kind of one of those interesting things. And they said, and it was funny because they were talking about coming and reviewing my setup, and I'm like, I need to review yours.
yeah.
Before I can send my chameleon out to make sure you know what you're doing for sure, because you don't have any. So it's a little, and I'm not naming the zoo on purpose, but it wasn't the Cleveland Zoo. It was the local zoo, but not Cleveland. But Cleveland Zoo it does a lot of stuff. It's a bigger zoo. It's the Cincinnati Zoo I've been to is very much into it's very much like the San Diego Zoo as far as it does a lot of research and a lot of other stuff. And I'm just being distracted by True Turtle Tom saying he purchased his panther from Camouflage. I thought he was going to get a montane species. That's not a panther's not a montane species.
He said "we," so he meant his place of employment.
Oh, the Cleveland Botanical Gardens. Okay, all right, but that's a botanical garden. That's another thing. So, how do they fit in? They're plants, but we love plants because chameleons love plants and other reptiles love plants, and the whole thing it starts, and so that's another kind of an interesting way to think about. So how does that all fit in? But I'm not saying I have any answers, Bill. I just came here to ask you questions and stump you because when I can stump Bill, so be it.
Well, it's just if you asked me 40 years ago, I mean, I was at every zoo. I made it a point to know all of the zoos and what the reptiles that each of the zoos had. I knew which ones had a basilisk. But I can't remember the last time I've been to a zoo. I mean,
really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, why would I go to a zoo? What are they going to have that's better than what I got?
Which zoo is by you? Is San Diego by you?
Yeah, the Los Angeles Zoo, the San Diego Zoo, San Diego Wild Animal Park.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I was to San Diego Zoo a couple years ago, and it was pretty cool, though.
Yes, it is pretty cool. They got stuff, but
I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Disney. So, Disney had Star Wars stuff, and I love Star Wars, but tell you what, I enjoyed the zoo a lot more. So, that's me.
Fine.
All right. Tonight we're going to keep this one short because I got up really early and I had a long weekend. And I don't know why it was such a long. I was out too much and having too much fun. Not drinking or anything, but just not drinking enough fluids, I guess. But and I started the day with a migraine this morning, so we'll have to keep this kind of shorter. So that's why I didn't want to put too difficult a topic on there. But apparently I've stumped Bill because he doesn't know where to put all these zoos. What about reptariums? Do they fit in there? Is that there's a reptarium north of me? Should I be going to see that one?
Nah, you know what? They waste too much space on monitors and reticulated pythons. That kind of stuff should go to like Parsons chameleons. So, okay. I'm not a big. I don't get all excited about large things that are
the lesser reptiles. I understand, Bill. Call them what you call them all the time. The lesser reptiles. I don't know why they're lesser because on the evolutionary scale, I'm not sure that where the chameleons fit. But
I know
you're kind of like you take the whole branch and you put it separately, a whole big branch somewhere else on the tree of life. So I get it. You put it on the very top in the shiny star of the tree of life. I understand.
Yeah, I've got my own way of looking at things. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. So, okay. All right. What does everyone else in the audience think about it? Tell us.
Santa Ana Zoo. You know about that one? I love that one. Yeah, Two Turtle Tom talking about Santa Ana Zoo, Prentice Park. It's a zoo put together, funded by this guy called Mr. Prentice, and he put in a requirement that the funding will come to the zoo as long as there are at least 50 monkeys in the exhibit. If they go down to 49, they lose their funding.
I love it. That is awesome. That is like a tremendous. I really, really appreciate that. I can't say enough about that. Is awesome. That is a lot of thought and insight and.
Yeah, Tom says, great primate collection. Yep, that's exactly why.
Right.
They could lose everything else. They are not losing their primates.
Yeah, I know, but the Cleveland Zoo has Monkey Island, which is monkeys and goats together, and there's probably 50 monkeys on that island. I know colobus monkeys on that island, so that's something that people like to see.
Yeah, it's stuff I've never seen before. You mean at the Santa Ana Zoo? You're talking about primates? Mm-hmm. What did they have there that was exceptionally special? I remember when they had. I think I saw squirrel monkeys for the first time there. I love squirrel monkeys so much, and that was the most special thing. I was very disappointed not to see squirrel monkeys when I went to Costa Rica, but they were more south than I was.
Cleveland has squirrel monkeys. My goodness, Bill, you're sheltered.
I'm also talking, 30 years ago? I don't know what's...
They had them 30 years ago. They were probably the same squirrel monkeys. I don't know how long they lived, but yeah.
Well, I'll go. That's okay. I finally saw squirrel monkeys, and I decided they were as cool as I always imagined.
Okay, that's good. But they're not great to have. I had a professor who had a squirrel monkey. I don't know how he got one. It was a long, that was 30-something years ago. He had a monkey, and it was a squirrel monkey, and he told me that, it was like having a kid that wouldn't behave, that could climb and fly almost. But, yeah.
When I was a kid, oh, yeah. You see those ads in the back of Boy's Life so you can buy a squirrel monkey? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there. I wanted to do that.
I was all about that myself as well, but when I learned that one professor said, "Oh no, you don't want that," I'm like, "Okay," and he showed me pictures, so that was a very interesting situation. So, okay, all right. Any more questions about the aquarium I went to? They had fish. They had reptiles. They had what else? They had a tegu. They had I don't know why they had them in an aquarium. They had a tegu, they had the green tree python, they had a red. All
right. Well, here I'm going to throw something out here. What? I'm going to throw something out here.
Okay.
You have the same problem we have when we're looking at our collections. Mm-hmm. We have to ask the question: what is the point of keeping something if we know that its home, its environment is being destroyed? Mm-hmm. And so we are we could very well end up being the only ones with it. Axolotls.
The last place where they are, right?
But
axolotls are in the trade and not in zoos.
Yes. Well, the thing is, you can't really make a dent in this unless you specialize. Mm-hmm. And zoos could do that. They could specialize. They have all these capabilities. They could have 10, 50 bloodlines. Mm-hmm. But if they're dependent on public dollars, they've got to have all the exhibits and the shows. And so they've got to have a wide diversity. And so that's going to water down their efforts. Mm-hmm. I suppose if every zoo has a grizzly bear pair, okay, well, you've small batched grizzly bears, and so maybe have a large network. Mm-hmm. But if every zoo has a king cobra, one king cobra, then what happens to the rink house cobra when it goes extinct? It's like you don't have enough of a pool to save everything. And if it's dying, if there's no place to send it to reintroduce it, what's the point? I guess we're now doing the conservation argument here.
All right.
I don't know what happened to my focus here.
You're going out of focus, Bill, and I'm. It's tough for zoos to work with many turtle species. I'll just read it.
Yeah.
It's tough for zoos to work with many turtle species. For example, too many people. A turtle is a turtle is a turtle. Probably similar with chameleons.
Yeah.
Oh man, he just dogged on chameleons, Bill. What the heck?
No, but what he says is true. Nobody, a zoo is not going to be able to get funding to save a chameleon species. It's so just like a turtle species.
Wow.
So I don't know. This is where it would be worthwhile for the zoos to work with people in the citizen community, because we will. I mean, I'm working with O'Shaughnessy. Other people are working with other species. Zoos will never be able to get funding for that. So is there something we can do? I don't know.
Well, maybe we should get somebody on from a zoo and get this answered. I don't know if
I think we got Two Turtle Tom, and he can start this program.
Yes, he can be the one. He's already doing it at the he's already got reptiles at the botanical gardens and the Hold'em Arboretum. So that's great.
Yeah, well, then the question is, what do we do with them? Why are we saving or having a certain species in captivity? If they can't go to the wild, well, then should zoos really be working with it? Are they going to be the Noah's Ark type thing?
Wow. So you're saying a species should just die out, Bill? Is that what you just said?
Well, we can't save them all. Maybe we should just save the environment that they live in.
That would be awesome. But environmental changes are due to multifactorial things. So, we can't do it overnight.
Fine. All right. Well, we should send you to recover from your weekend of debauchery.
There was no debauchery. Good golly, it was exhausting. I was tired. I went to the 95-degree air show, and I was out, doing different things or what have you. But there was no debauchery. My gosh, if there would have been debauchery, I wouldn't be here today. But thanks for making me think I could do that kind of thing again.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's one final word from Tom. Zoos focus on managing captive populations for long-term sustainability in captive populations. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I am going to call it quits. And next week, it's going to be exciting. We got a couple. I may be going down to the Cincinnati show again. We'll have some exciting other guests on. The podcast is going to launch next Tuesday. And Bill, what's coming up for you?
Well, next week I'm going to be at Animal Con. I'll be traveling.
That's right. That's awesome. And, so, are you going to be available for the show? Or are you going to be popping in, or what's going to happen?
Yeah, I can be. I'll be here for the show. I leave very, very early Thursday morning, so I can be here for the show. But over the weekend, I'll be doing my live Saturday show from the Animal Con.
That's awesome.
That's a week from Saturday.
I'm assigning you it as a beat reporter. No, not a beat reporter. What's up from that? Not investigative reporter. What kind of reporter am I going to make you, Bill?
Field reporter?
Well, yeah, field. Okay, it's not a field, but a field reporter. Okay, you're out in the field, I guess.
Where is? I don't know what's going on with my focus.
Yes, you're blurry, and that's not because my glasses are off, Bill. So, correspondent, that's what Two Turtle Tom is there to help us again. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for being here.